gonna see if I can get these broken studs out. Not looking forward to this. Important note, if you're ever putting steel bolt and an aluminum head, make sure you have anti-seize on it. There's multiple ways I can do this, but I am just going to try to grab it with some freaking vice grips and see if I can twist it. I am going to attempt to weld a nut on here and turn it off. We'll see if that works. Well, I did not get that recorded. Did not hit record. I got it welded. I'll let it cool for a second, and then I'm going to try to use a wrench and see if that'll take that out of there. Smoky. Will it work? Nope. Round 2. I dropped you. Sorry. I'm gonna keep going around this thing and trying to weld that around. Moment of truth. It appears to be working. Not the prettiest welds. Not the best anything. But if it works. Now, I'll say I ended up with these welding glasses due to sometimes when you get in a tight spot under a car and the welding helmet just don't quite fit. So I kind of like them for that, but I can already feel it because I had to get close a couple times. They do a great job of protecting the eyes though. And, you know, I'm a little fair-skinned. You know, thanks Irish, Scottish relatives. Wow, is that still hot? Boom. So, 3 out of 4 are just like this one. So if I used an oversized nut, I can get weld down in there. That'll give me enough grip to get that out. Sha-sha! 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 I keep stuff like this. Oh. Everything that ends up on my top shelf here has a story. Literally everything. Whether it was the first rust I ever cut out of a vehicle. That came off the Pontiac. First dovetail I ever made at a machine shop. First plastic injection part, the Yamaha. You know, all of them have a story in one way or another. All right, 3 more of those. 2 more just like it, and then 1 really terrible one that's broken off in the head. I don't know how I'm gonna get that one yet. Correction. My new welding helmet did arrive. Likewise, not pretty. Let's see if it works. I can't tell if that was my nut slipping or the bolt coming loose. I think that was the bolt coming loose. To be honest, I can't hardly tell what's going on in there. Oh, my bolt broke loose. Okay. Well, my nut broke loose. So I didn't weld. I welded good enough to the stud to keep all my weld on there. I didn't weld I just need to tack around it a little bit. I can do that. This time I'm going to use a bigger nut. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. It's going to go all the way around it. Then I'll fill around the edge with weld. Maybe that'll hold. I don't know. Welding goggles. Not recommended. Work really good for protecting the eyes, but you do get sunburn. But my new welding helmet has not arrived yet. So, work with what we got. Alright. This was a cheap welding helmet. Absolutely love it. One, it's actually got more comfort than my other two, which were much more expensive than this thing. It's got this really nice pad. It's actually easier to adjust, and it does that, which is cool because it locks, and you can wish the lock was a little bit better, and it actually looks really neat. Either way, it's still just plastic. I just kind of like that it's shiny and it just works good, and it's comfortable. I really like that it's comfortable. So, really neat. More adjustments than I'm used to also. I really like this thing. Not bad for $35. Maybe. God, you are a terrible welder, Mike. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, we're coming out of there. Yep, we are coming out. Let's take her nice and easy. She does feel like she's coming out okay. She's been in there for a long time. Oh, there she goes. Now she got a little easier. Oh. It's hot enough I can't touch it? Nah, you're okay. Alright. That's 2. This cylinder head is now back in service. I'll probably chase all of these holes out with a tap just to be safe. And I still got to clean up this head before we even think about putting it back in. But we got no more broken bolts on this one. Time to get to that other sucker. Alright, so this one gave me some trouble. Weld broke a few times. It is coming loose, but I don't have a socket that fits it because the weld went a little lower. Couldn't get anything to fit quite right. It is coming out with a wrench. We're just going to keep our fingers crossed. I mean, it went 2 for 2 pretty damn easy. So, you know, I don't want to jinx myself or anything, but it's not always going to be. They're not always going to come out the way you want them to. I think we're doing pretty good for about 30 minutes invested in getting broken bolts out. But I hope this one gets out of here, and then I will show you the last one. The last one I'm worried about. Because if I'm having a problem with these easy ones, how's this hard one going to go? But that being said, that is how you increase skills. Run into a problem you've not actually ran into before or couldn't fix in the past. Well, if you can figure it out now, you got that for the next time. Of course, everybody already knows that, but I am pretty happy though. This is about to be 4 bolts out of here, which does make you wonder why they broke on him. I don't know if that's common with LS motors. It's the first and the last bolt on both heads. But I mean, all the other ones, everybody thought they were going to break on me, and I heated them up a little bit. There's number 3 of 4. Again, I'll run a tap through all these. And I'm going to get the head gaskets off still, clean the head mounting surface, clean these heads. There's a lot. But none of that matters if I don't get this bolt out. Let me show you. The other ones were pretty easy. Whoa! The other one's pretty easy because they were sticking out. See, look at this one. She's down in there. Not very far, but she's there. This one's going to take a little more. Maybe drill and easy out. Potentially. Maybe I can weld something to it. We're going to try an extractor. So I'm going to tap that in. Tap, 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 tap it in. And then we'll try to turn it counterclockwise and see if we get lucky. Of course, the only hammer I can find looks like a mini Thor hammer. Well, that's in there. I guess we can go get a wrench and get the failure started all over again. You know? I have no faith that you are going to fix my problem. No faith at all. None. Zero faith. I'm gonna tap it again. Just a little. I have 1% faith. Boy, that does feel like it's in there pretty good. All right. Let's get a wrench. Round 67. Well, that's about the most worthless crescent wrench that's ever... Whew, that's getting some tension. Yeah. You know what's going to be fun is when this breaks, me trying to figure out what the next plan is. That ain't even trying to come out. Not even trying. Not even thinking about it. Yeah. Well, what other stupid things can I do? Alright, let's try one more time. Yeah. Come on. Man. Man. I hit it with the torch. I'll heat it with the torch. Man. Whew. Well. That went about as expected. Kind of negates the victory of getting all the other bolts out if you can't get the last one out. Next time I'm going to start with the hardest bolt. Alright, so as you can see, I had tried to weld nuts, oh, there's dog hair, onto, well, build up a weld and then weld nuts on there. That did not work very well. So I welded more of a stud. No, it's not pretty. Or I welded onto the stud. And what I had to do, which was different than the others, is I increased the power on the welder significantly. But that actually put enough heat into it that stuck, and I think it will come out now. So I'm going to try it. If this does come out, that would be amazing, because I am at the point of a machine shop. Well, it turned a little. If my vice grips would actually hold it. Wow, these vice grips suck. Sorry, vice grips, this is your last hurrah, because you have one job. And you're not doing them. You ain't grabbing nothing. Back in a second when I get my vice grips to cooperate. Coming out. I'm going to go get a new pair of vice grips. I gave you a warning. You had one shot to do your job. Baby vice grips. It goes for a little bit and then I get stuck because of these vice grips. Look, bottom line is, have a good pair of vice grips. If you ever end up in this terrible scenario where you have a easy out broken off in the damn thing. My weld's holding though. If I grab it with something useful, alright, there's all 4 broken studs out of the head.